like, comment, share, subscribe. Today we honored to be here with a true legend with us from Lafayette, uh, junior middleweight, super welterweight. Anything else? What?
As you got it.
All right, all right,
Broussard. I'm originally from Broussard, but live in Lafayette,
all right. Jason Papillion, y'all. Uh, okay. We're gonna talk about your journey, your career, and highlights, and what it's like after hanging up the glove. All right.
Gotcha. I'm with it.
What was it like for you growing up in Broussard?
Well, Broussard, I'm gonna be honest with you. I grew up in Broussard. I wasn't really into boxing. I was a baseball player. I thought I would have been playing in the major league, but God had other plans for me. And here I am. He turned me into a professional boxer.
All right. How did you first get into boxing, and what was a what was a particular moment or person who inspired you?
I got into boxing growing up, like every kid, we got into a lot of trouble, got into a lot of fights, and my mom, she just got tired of me coming home and saying I done got in a fight or me cut or bleeding, and she told me go find a boxing gym. And I got with one of my childhood friends, Quinn Guidry, and he brought me to Kenny Vice Boxing Gym in Youngsville and never turned back.
Can you tell us about your first fight and what it felt like stepping into the ring for the first time?
Well, my first amateur fight, I don't really remember it too well, but it was nerves. Nerves took control of me, and I did pretty good. I won. I won my first fight, but it was a very strange feeling because I've never been in a boxing ring, and that was my first time doing it. But I turned out well.
Who were your biggest role models growing up, both inside and outside the ring?
Growing up, like I said, I wasn't in the boxing growing up. I was in the baseball, and I wanted to play in the major league. But then I got out of high school and started boxing, and I went on from there. And I got with Bo Williford, the late Bo Williford, man, that got me started in the boxing, and he put me in contact with Roy Jones Jr. And Roy was getting ready for the Olympics, and not the Olympics, he was getting ready for a professional fight, and they called me to go and spar with him. And I got my butt whipped, but that would inspire me to be great, to be a good fighter, because I wanted to be like him.
Looking back on your career, what was your most memorable fight, and how does it stand out to you?
My most memorable fight is when I won the NABF junior middleweight title. I fought David Taylor and not David Taylor. I fought David out of Detroit. And first round, I got hit with a thumb in the eye, and my eye just blew up. I was swollen, so I had to finish that fight with one eye, 12 rounds. I won a 12-round unanimous decision and my first title.
All right. Who was your toughest opponent you ever faced, and what made it so challenging?
Man, I fought Santiago Samaniego in San Antonio. That was Roberto Duran's nephew. Him and I fought on Sunday night fights, man, and I hit him with everything, the kitchen sink, everything, and that joker just kept coming, man. And that was the first time I really got hurt in a fight. He hit me with a left hook in the 6th round and buzzed me. And I fought back harder. I lost a split decision, which I thought I won. When you fight somebody in their hometown, you gotta almost kill them to get the decision. But that was a real tough fight, because he kept coming all night.
All right. How did it feel to represent Acadiana on the national and global scale?
Man, it was a tremendous feeling to have the support from all surrounding areas, not just Lafayette, Broussard, Youngsville, Brobridge, St. Martinville. I mean, they all supported me, and to represent Louisiana, I'm gonna put it like that. It was a tremendous feeling to go global, fight on the other side of the world, overseas, and have them mention Louisiana. That was an unbelievable feeling.
What did your training routine look like in your prime?
In my prime, my training, wow. I was never short on training. I worked my butt hard, man. I'd get up 5:30 every morning, do my 5, 6, 7 mile run, go to the gym that afternoon and train 2 to 3 hours, come back home and just rest, man. That was a training. And then when I'd go to Florida and train, I'd go and work with Roy. That was a whole different level of training. That was way different than what I was used to, but it built me to be who I am today, just going out there with him.
How did you stay mentally focused and motivated throughout your career?
Cause I stayed motivated because you know what? My cousin, the late Eric Griffin, was a boxer at the time, and he was one of the best amateur boxers in the world. And when I started boxing, a lot of friends, family, they were saying that I'm doing it only because Eric is doing it, which I wasn't really doing it because of him. He inspired me to do it a little, but I wanted to be the best. I wanted to prove them all wrong. That's what kept me motivated, man. To show them that I'm not just doing that for him, I'm doing that for me and what I wanted to become.
And what role did your team and your coach play for your success?
Man, my coach, the late Bo Williford, man, he was a real tough guy that made you work hard. You know, he didn't know anything else but working hard, and he pushed me to the limits. And also Piscotty, out of the neighborhood, man. He was a big inspiration to me. He made me think that there was nobody in the world that could beat me. You know, that was a big inspiration. I think when he was in the streets and when he went to prison, I think that really affected me because I really had a lot of hope in him and I making it. And when he went to prison for those few years, it threw me off. I felt like I didn't have that same guy to push me. But when he came back, we got back on track, man.
Was there a specific fight where you felt your preparation truly paid off?
Going back to that Santiago Samaniego, them 12 rounds, man, them
Right.
12 rounds of war. And that's why I knew I didn't put in the work. I was in great condition for that fight.
What has the transition to retirement been like?
I retired in 2010, and the transition is never really played off because now, my son, Keon Papillion, the chosen one, he's boxing now. He's a professional boxer. He's 11-0, with 7 knockouts. He's getting ready to fight on February 2nd on Clarissa Shields versus Danielle Perkins undercard, the big fight right there for him. So the transition is not really much because it's like I'm still in it. And then I still have I have my gym, Papillon's Boxing Club, boxing gym, to where I have a team and I train these kids and we compete every weekend. And that's what keeps me still in the boxing.
All right. How many fighters do you have in this facility?
Right now we have anywhere from 10 to 15 guys. I have maybe 5 to 6 that are competing, and the rest of them are in in the process of competing.
All right. How was the experience mentoring young fighters?
I think, mentoring, I mean, just being there for the kids, man. The world has changed a lot on us. It's a lot of things that's going on, and these kids, they need mentors. And I'm just glad that God put me in a position to be a mentor to these kids. Just to help them. Give them a chance to see another way out.
Yes, sir. What advice would you give young boxers starting out, especially from smaller communities like Lafayette?
Train hard. Train hard, work hard. Don't take this lightly. You gotta eat, sleep, and boxing. This has to be something that you want, and you gotta want to be the best at it.
Are there any lessons from your career you would like to share with others?
No, not well. Yes, there is one. Going back to training with Roy Jones Jr. It's not a lesson, but it's something that always stuck with me. I just got married, and my wife and I, Roy was getting ready for a fight, and he needed me to go out there and spar. So my wife and I, we went to do our honeymoon out there, and we were sparring one day, Roy and I, and my wife somehow ended up in the gym that day, and that was the worst beating I ever got. And when I got out that ring, I told my wife, don't she ever come back to the gym while we down there.
Who's your all-time favorite boxer and why?
Roy, I would say Roy Jones Jr. because I spent most of my career around him, and I knew him. He was like a big brother to me, and I wanted to be like him. So I would say that he's the one.
What's one thing about you people might not know?
I don't eat onions and bell pepper. I don't do the green stuff. I don't.
If you could spar any boxer from the past, who would it be?
Spar. Wow, man, that's a tough one. I would have loved to get in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. Just to see how I would do. He's one of the hardest boxers to hit. And me, myself, I always say, man, I could hit anybody with my right hand. So I would have loved to test to see if I could have landed that right hand on him.
All right. Is there anything you would like to share with the people?
Just to live life to the fullest. Every day, every second, every minute that you can, enjoy life, because life is short. Enjoy it while we're here.
Thank you a lot for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you
Mr.
for having
Jason.
me, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Like, comment, share, subscribe.